Go ahead, Uniform Kilo Hotel Group over at North and give us the contact. The name of this is Jim and the delivery station is Joe. So go ahead, sir.
Right, hi everyone, it's Chris here, 2E0UKH, and I'm just taking a closer look at the RT84. Did a little preview on this radio, and there's not a lot of information about on this radio on the internet. Obviously it's on the Retevis site and there's a few forum videos, but I was intrigued by this set because studying the photos on the Retevis site, I concluded that it was running MD2017 software, or the Retevis RT82, the RT3S, the UV380. It's running, you know, tried and tested decent software from fairly mid-range devices on a £65 radio, $86. You know, my UK conversion is just a rough conversion, but you get the idea. This is a budget radio, but there's not much budget on it. The hardware's exceptional. You know, it's a budget radio, but it's no worse hardware than the RT3S or the RT82. You know, it's a budget radio, but it's not small like the new Baofeng. That's a budget radio. You know, budget radios have not many contacts on. This doesn't have many contacts on. Now, it's got a lovely keyboard, lights up green, and because it's not small, as in, I mean, this is a UV5R, so the UV5R, you can see it's quite substantially bigger than that. But if you're getting a budget radio in a larger footprint, you'll be getting a nice speaker, a bigger speaker, you'll be getting a bigger battery, you'll be getting better battery life. Perhaps not in this situation because, you know, this is a different type of screen technology, but you get my point. It's not a tiny little radio. And it's a cheap version of the MD2017. It's a cheap version of the RT82. It's running exactly the same software. You've got the clicker knob on the top, volume and clicker knob on the top, transmit on the side. But what's missing? What's missing on the radio? Well, it's just the contacts. If you're not bothered about having every single person in the world's DMR contact come up, if you're old school, you'll love this radio. Now, this radio's got 3,000 channels, 10,000 contacts, and it's got a VFO mode. Just like the MD2017, it's got a proper VFO mode. I don't know about proper, but as good as you get on these DMRs. Perhaps the best one is the HD1. So VFO mode. Just trying to get a better focus. Get that light out of the way. Menu. Utilities. Radio setting. Now all these are the same menus as the 2017, but you've not got that stupid trackball. And this is a very fluid computer in this. You know, the CPU that's running this operating system, it's no slouch. It's the first thing I noticed. It whizzes through all these menus. to get it in VFO mode, you've got to change from channel mode to memory mode. In other words, I did have labels for the channels that were in, and now I don't. So now it's just on numbers. I can go to VFO mode. So you've got a line at the top and a line at the bottom. And if it says an A, that's analog, and if that goes to a D, it's digital. So if you press the red button, you can mute one of the lines. So if I pressed it, I'm muting the bottom line, so you can't hear that, because we're looking at the top line, because that's where the A is. If I long press the top right button here, long press that, the top line has changed into a VFO, and from the VFO, you know, it's a wrong step rate obviously. There is a step rate, it's not an issue. It's not much good, is it, that step rate? No, it must be in program radio. So you can edit, you know, you can edit the parameters of this. Put everything you need in here: tones, frequencies, color codes, slots. I'm trying to find the step rate. Right, so I've just been through the settings, just stop the video there, and I can't find a step rate in VFO mode. Now this is not an issue, because this is not a scanner. You're not going to be searching off, none of these DMRs have a good VFO mode. Probably the HD1 and the 868 are some of the best, but the VFO mode is for direct frequency entry. You can type in a frequency and go there, and set up the tones for a repeater, and then open a repeater that you haven't got in memory, maybe. Now on this channel you can program it from the front. I'm going to zoom in on the video by placing it on the table, zooming in. Right, menu, utilities, program radio. If you go into there, you can edit these parameters, you know, receive, transmit, the name, the tones, the color code, the slot, everything, even the transmit contact. So if it's a DMR repeater, you could go in and you could alter the digital contact it's assigned to, look in there, and say OK, and say and just change that channel, so every time you use it, it will go to that talk group. Or in analog mode, you could just change the receive and transmit and alter the tones. You can also create a channel, and if you create a channel, it comes up with the option analog or digital, and then you can add a channel. So this is a pretty smart little radio. It's a shame it doesn't have all the contacts on it, because this has got everything. It's got everything. The only bad points I can find at this stage, the volume doesn't get quite quiet enough, although it's not terrible. I've got a hearing problem, so it shows itself to me. You know, I notice it. I like to have it barely, so that I can only just hear it. So The volume doesn't go low enough to my liking, but a lot of these radios do this, and it doesn't have enough contacts. But it's a budget radio, and it's an $86 version of the MD2017 with no GPS, cut down, cheap version of it. And I'm quite surprised. You know, if you get a Baofeng, one of them other budget radios, you're going to get the Baofeng operating system, you know, or the Radiodity, which I've never had, so I can't say they're good or bad. But if you get a budget radio like this, you've got a tried and tested operating system from the MD2017. You know, it's not the exact firmware from the MD2017, but it's a port. It's been made to look identical. You know, on the MD2017, on the RT82, if you press the hash button, I mean, look at this lovely keyboard. If you press the hash button, there, I'll just do it on the screen, you get this option. You know, that's on the MD2017. It's exactly the same. It's a cut down version, so I already know how to use it, luckily. So I'll do an in-depth review, but that's just a little bit more detail, because I'm getting a ton of people emailing me asking me about this radio, and there's no other details on the internet really. There's some foreign speaking videos, and I'm gonna take it through its paces and keep you informed. Okay, 732E0UKH.